as you guys know, we got a giveaway going on. So before we can get rolling in today's video, got to do a little merch plug. lsnasty.com, first link in the description below. Brand new website, brand new entry method. Every dollar you spend on lsnasty.com gets an entry to win.
Getting her all dialed in. Ready for some paint. Fixing all that body damage.
We got new hoodies up on the site. We got new shirts up on the site. And then we got some badass stuff. We got socks, hats. We got a mystery box, which is absolutely sick. That's double entry. And then we have boxers, key tags, posters. Like, we literally got the fries that will cross your eyes. So go to lsnasty.com. First link in the description below. Go down there, check it out. Like I said, brand new website, brand new entry method. So every dollar you spend is an entry to win. And plus, stuff flying off the shelves, shipping out quick, and it's hoodie season, so go down there and get your hoodies. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. We are on the road today, Charlotte, North Carolina, about a 2-hour drive from us from LS Nasty headquarters. We are at Brown and Miller Racing. We're going to be talking about doing some plumbing on the Bad Apple and all of our other cars that we have coming together right now. They're going to be headed here to get all of the plumbing done and get some wiring stuff as well. So if you guys are building a car at home, planning on building a car, starting your build, ending your build, this video is gonna be a really good one for you. So we're gonna run inside, check it out. All right, guys, we've made it inside the top secret Brown and Miller Racing. We got Matt here, we got the Bad Apple here, and we got the crew. We got our certified CDL driver. So guys, we are legal. We are legal. So we are here with the car. We got Scott with us, Brown and Miller. Yep. All right, first off, what do you guys do here?
So we manufacture all of our own hose and fittings. We do all PTFE Teflon hose, all one-piece billet fittings for all forms of racing. So,
what do you guys do now? Like, just some big name race stuff that you guys do?
Pretty much every NASCAR team, Hendrick, Roush, Penske, every IndyCar team, work with Dallara. We do all forms of drag racing, John Force racing, Don Schumacher racing. I mean, we do almost every form of racing and all the big teams for sure.
And you guys do everything from oil lines, fuel rail fittings, like you guys...
Brake lines, just...
Any fluid control system. We can cover anything from -2 to 32, all PTFE Teflon. And then even on our hard line side, we have a tube bender over here. We can bend 3/16 to 2-inch brake lines, turbo lines, exhaust systems, whatever we need to duplicate. We can have, you can send us a piece that we can mock up and work off your mock up and duplicate it. Or we also have a ferrule arm that we can scan your existing tube and duplicate it multiple times.
One-stop shop for all plumbing needs.
Correct.
That's why we are here today. We had this kind of running at one point, change some stuff around, need to get a bunch of new lines and fittings made, and that's why we're here. So we got some stuff mocked up. So is this kind of like a service that you guys offer? You bring a car in here and kind of test fit, and then you guys just make them on the spot?
Yeah, so we can we have a mobile trailer that we work locally around here that we actually send to the teams and make kits off that. So if you had a new car for like the NASCAR teams, we're going to the next gen car. So we actually go over there and mock up their new cars and make assemblies off that, make part numbers. Therefore, in the future, they can duplicate them multiple times without having to go back over there and do that. So we do that locally around, within a couple states. But we also are allowing people to bring their vehicles in-house, give us a couple day ahead up, and we can actually plumb your car in-house. It might take about 4 to 6 hours, just depending on our work schedule here. But
That's not bad because I've spent 4 hours trying to put one fitting together.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're still trying to produce everybody's product, so sometimes you got to work with us a little bit. But yeah, usually we can get you out of here in a day, fully assembled, plumbed, crimped, and ready to go. We do this in this location, and we do it in our Indy location.
Awesome. Well, we're here utilizing that. Now, you mentioned the crimp fittings, which we have not really shown that on my channel before. Maybe a couple times you did when you brought your car there.
Yep. So I've always used Brown & Miller. You know, it's awesome quality hose. Coming here especially, it's really versatile because you guys know at home, you're sitting here at home, and you're like, man, I want to run it this way, and you order a 45, and you're like, man, I really needed a 60, but you got the 45 and you put it on. Well,
that's like this guy here. When you order one fitting, how many you get? 3 of each size?
Each size every time, because I'm like, I'm not going to not have extra fit.
So the way the crimp fittings work, you slide the hose on, you can change your hose length, you can do a lot of things to where you can really make it look good, everything fit good, make sure you don't have any kind of clearance issues or anything. But the crimp stuff, it's not, well, I guess it could be field serviceable if you have a crimp tool.
Yeah.
But once you build the line, you shouldn't have to be, you know, changing anything. And like you said,
this stuff's good. I mean, PTFE, there's nothing that's going to break down this product. You know, there's a lot of rubber out there, which are good for about 2 years, and it starts breaking down. This stuff right here, I've had hoses come back 20 years old.
Really?
Yep.
This can handle methanol, nitro, anything, any fluid. You're not going to break down.
You say nitro?
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the right spot now.
I mean, we do nitrous lines, all that kind of stuff, but the only thing you're going to wear out is the exterior, and that's all about how you tie it up. You know, if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. But like what we're doing here is, you know, mocking it all up. So we're laying the fittings out to make sure, you know, see how everything's going to lay out, and then we'll actually mock the hose up there to get it to lay properly, so it's not too long, too short. We custom fit it to this car.
And that's, I guess, one of the huge benefits of coming here is you guys have enormous inventory of fittings, so you can, you know, if this isn't right exactly what you need, you got exactly what we need somewhere.
We got straights, 30s, 45s, 60s, 90s, 120s, 180s. We go from port fittings. We can eliminate adapters, screw directly into the rail.
That's what Matt, you always talk about that.
So I like to use the port fittings because, for one, the port fittings can really save you on some spots, especially like the oiling system, because you got your AN adapter or port, and then you got the thing, and then by the time you get done with it, you're this long. Well, like on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do a port fitting directly into the bottom of the oil pump. That way we keep everything nice and tight, you know, it's not hanging down, and we also eliminate the chance of an extra fitting leaking. You know, you just get rid of a fitting completely. So you know, the port fittings are a huge asset on some stuff, because there's some things that I've done that's it just doesn't work without a port fitting. And they have a lot of specialty stuff you can do, like different size stuff, so like a dash 16 port to a dash 12 hose, different, you know, kind of odd lengths. I remember I was here one time, and I got a fitting, and it was like off Tony Stewart's car or something. It worked perfect.
Yeah. So we do a lot of, you know, step down, step up stuff. So yeah, if we needed to carry a bigger hose in here, and then we needed to screw directly into a port, we have those step down fittings that will do that, eliminate some adapters and potential failure points.
Yep.
And we're gonna go with, like I said, all of our hoses convoluted Teflon. We have 4 different braids. This is our air mid. We're gonna use that on this. This is actually fire resistant, so if we had a backfire underneath here, you know, if the fire hit the actual braid, it won't burn it off.
Wow.
So this is why we're, you know, this is kind of what I push towards the drag racing market.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Well.
So, and you guys also do, so like turbo feed, they'll do the like dash 3, dash 4 stuff. They have different sleeving they can put on there, and you see, like whenever he's assembling it, you know, it just kind of, you can get they're going to do a cut mark here, but it slips on and off. So if you go a little bit shorter, you can just slip it off, make it a little bit shorter. You know how you guys are with some of the stuff, like you put your AN fittings together at home, and you're like, man, if that was an inch shorter, it'd look a lot better. But once you do that, it's, you know, by the time you disassemble a fitting again, it might not go back together.
Coming here makes me never want to assemble an AN fitting ever again.
It's if you got a car and you really, you know, if you're really into drag racing, and you know you want some really high quality stuff, like he said, the PTFE stuff, even if you're not going to go Brown & Miller, do PTFE, don't do rubber, because PTFE is the way to go.
Do it once and you're done. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. It's a much safer, because, you know, you got,
especially everyone runs E85 and alcohol now. It just
deteriorates the rubber.
There was one that came by our shop the other day. The hose is just rock hard.
Yep.
And then you start tearing up your own equipment. Like, I mean, the rubber lines, when they start to deteriorate, you start putting
into the fuel system.
Yeah, into your injectors, clog an injector, burn a hole up.
Yep.
and now it's cost you tons of money. So just spend the extra money at the front, and you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Totally.
Buy once, cry once, and then like he's talking about the convoluted tube. I think it flows better than smooth bore.
Yeah, I mean, it just gives you a lot more flexibility. So therefore, you're not having to do these big swoops. You can get to point A to point B a lot quicker. This stuff right here never hardens up, so it will, once it warms up, it will adhere to its position and get in the relaxed position it likes to live in. But yeah, it's not going to be rigid ever. Our, all of our stuff is billet, our fittings. So when you tighten them, the nuts will still spin. And same with our stainless. We have thicker braid wires than most people, so the red and blue stuff you'll start putting together, and then later on you chafe and you poke your hand.
Yep. Oh yeah.
This stuff will not do that. Your braid wires will stay intact the whole life, and it's just, it will pay you back 10-20 years down the road.
Yep.
I feel like we should have been here like a year or two ago.
Made in America.
Yeah, that's pretty. All right, Matt. For everyone that that has no idea what you're talking about thus far,
All right.
just show them what all we're running lines to and from here.
So,
what we're doing.
I worked on it last night. I just kind of threw some stuff together. We changed some stuff up. Before, if you guys remember, we had the oil pump and it was wobbling and like. If you
Everyone was like, we cannot get that. You guys need help figuring out this front drive stuff. No, it's not that we couldn't figure it out. We were waiting on parts.
Waiting on parts. Right now, everybody that's building a car right now, the struggle is real with the parts. You got supply chain shortages, and then you got some stuff, like we had some stuff that was older, and then we went from 4-bolt Chevy
to 3-bolt Ford.
3-bolt Ford. The mandrel that I usually run that fits, and I know fits. No, they didn't have it, so AVA got some mandrel. It wasn't correct, so we got another mandrel, and then it didn't work with the trigger wheel. And instead of sometimes you just got to make it work. So we made it work.
We got everything on there now, so now it's time to run the lines.
You remember last time the oil pump drive is wobbling around, the belt wanted to come off. So now this thing's solid. Built the motor plate. We got 2 large spacers here. When this thing's tightened up, it's not going to wobble. You don't want to mess around with your oil pump drive setup, because if the belt comes off, you're going to have a really bad day. Even if you have oil pressure safety on it,
Game over.
8,000 RPM, belt comes off,
Done.
it's toast.
So we need to run oil lines from the pan to the oil pump.
Yep.
From the oil pump to the filter. From there back
to
in
the engine.
Yep.
Fuel lines, we're going to replace those. We're going to do this. We're going to do the rear crossover. Maybe do a turbo feed out of the dashboard stuff, kind of show you guys that. And then we're going to do the burn down lines that go from here to there, to the firewall bulkhead. And then, of course, we got some...
Let me ask real quick, is that final installation on that?
Yeah.
Just for everyone.
It's how it goes sometimes. 3 a.m., So if you'll see, like, when you...
So this is the mock-up process here.
Yep.
And everything crimps on, so there's no... You're not really fighting with it.
Yeah. Slides the thing.
Not that easy, huh?
They also have different colors. Is there any way you think we could do black and gold on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what colors do you offer? You have...
So we have blue fittings and black fittings, and then we have the options of a black collar, a gold collar, or a silver collar.
Yeah, like a nickel.
So you can really like dress it up. It'll look...
Yeah, you can make it fit what you're going for.
Yeah, I love the black and gold. Everything I got, black and gold.
So let's switch it up.
Yep. So
Easy up.
So you mock it up, you're happy with it, then you take it over and crimp it, and then...
it's done.
It's
ready
done.
to go. So we'll show that, the crimp process, and they also pressure test everything. So when you get a line, you're not gonna be like, ugh, it's leaking. And like they generate part numbers for a lot of stuff too. So if you're building a lot of cars, or you're at a race and you're like, I wrecked a car or something happened and I need this hose. Look at that quick. We just went from
God, look at how good that looks.
gangster.
Yeah, that is nice.
So
I feel like that's unfair, because I've literally spent hours trying to put one fitting together, and you just slap it together like that.
And getting the length right,
Yeah.
It's like, there's especially, tight areas, a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. It really is a asset to, when you're building something, to be able to make it to where everything fits perfectly. So, because if you guys remember last time, the fitting for the fuel feed
was leaking.
Yeah, and it was very close to the pump. You don't want any of that. So we're gonna do that. He's gonna.
That looks good.
That one's gonna be ready to crimp.
Guys, seriously, it'll save you time and headache just to do it like this. I'm kind of mad at you that we've been doing it the other way for so long. I'd never want to have to put an AN fitting together ever again.
Yep. So, but like this, will have a part number generator. So they offer swivel fittings and then non-swivel fittings. So these are going to be fixed because we're mocking it up here. If you're not sure at home, you'd probably only get one end of swivel. That way,
you can build the line at home and send it to them, or you can get measurements and tell them, hey, this is what you need.
Hey, I need 120 degree you know, this one will be clocked specifically for this, so it will fit that perfectly with no swivel. If you're doing it at home, you probably want to do a swivel because, like, oh, I need this, you know, at a 10-degree angle. You know, it can be very difficult. But they offer swivel and non-swivel. I like, whenever I'm building it here, I usually don't use swivels unless it's like a hard one to get on a swivel, make it easier, just because the non-swivels are cheaper fittings. So yeah, we're just going over how you guys offer fixed and swivel fittings. So like something like here, we know our spacing and our clocking, so we can do a fixed fitting. But if somebody's sending a hose in, you probably want to do a swivel.
Yeah, I mean, for the fixed stuff, a lot of sprint car guys run the fixed stuff a little lighter, less chances of having issues in the swivel area, which we never have problems with. But a lot of people don't know this. Methanol cars, you know, require a different O-ring. They require EPDM. 95% of all your fittings out there, probably more than that, 99% of them out there, all have Viton O-rings in them. Which EPDM eats it. That's a rubber. That's what methanol does. So if I was gonna, you know, put a swivel on this car, we would build a custom, you know, swivel section with a EPDM O-ring in it, so we won't have problems. But everyone else out there just sticks with the Viton and see how long it lasts until
they
it
have a failure.
fails.
Yep, and I've had those before. I've had them on the rail, and then all of a sudden you look down and it's leaking out of the swivel, and that's because, you know, methanol, it deteriorates, you know, rubber, especially when you leave the car set. You can leave this car set over, you know,
that black sheet's going to be a puddle here soon.
Yep, and that can be, like, we're talking, you know,
no, it can burn the car down.
Yeah,
a little bit of money, you know, it might cost a little bit more initially, but safety-wise, definitely a huge benefit on safety. Not
to mention, when you do it like this, it's going to look a whole lot cleaner than it just, before it was just stuff slung everywhere.
Yep.
What you think, Chris? You think Christopher?
I'm in love.
You are? You're going to be bringing everything up here? His work truck.
I'm going to be ordering links of cables.
of hoses, yeah. Hey, they said they had 2 crimp machines in stock. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. All right, so here we are. Quick look. The Bad Apple looks a little bit different here. It looks much nicer.
It looks
with the black and gold. It looks badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the some of the oil feed. We're working on the oil pickup from the scavenge section on the pan to the pump. So we got all our lines here. So we're gonna go ahead and zip tie those. We're gonna do a vent line here. We did a new turbo drain. So we did this setup now to where it doesn't use a scavenge pump or anything, so it just comes straight out of the turbo, drains into the pan.
And you steel braided on that one.
Steel braided. You know, it's by the turbine housing. It's very hot. We're also going to use some
heat sleeving.
Yeah, heat sleeving, which is like a Nomex style sleeving, just for extra protection. Never really have much issues with turbo drains, just because you have oil in there, and anytime you have a hose that has fluid in it, the fluid will dissipate the heat. So it's kind of like if you ever tried to boil water in a styrofoam cup, you know, if there was no fluid in it, if it was just air, it could melt it. But if there's fluid in it, like, you know, fuel, I'm not going to recommend running your fuel lines that close to your exhaust or anything, but it will help the line live. So we're going to run the sleeve motor just to be, you know, as careful as we can. We got a few more, I think just one line, just the pickup line right there, and once everything's good and we like it, we're going to take them all off. We're going to go over here, crimp them, test them, then we're out of here. What are we going to do?
Tomorrow's video, we're actually going to pick up a large purchase. It looks just like the toter, but it's not the toter. Not the exact toter.
If you heard John in the last video when we won, he was like, I got to get another one because my head's so big. It's true.
So, all right, well, this is, I mean, how long would it take someone all day to be making hoses if it was like...
Well, not all day. I mean, you know, not just that, but there's so many times we're like, okay, let's put a 120 here. All right, let's try a 150. Let's put a swivel on it. That right there is really invaluable because there's so many times that I've ordered and been like, okay, yeah, I want to run that. Man, if I had a 30 degree, so then you order a 30 degree, and then you got all these extra fittings, and then some of them don't, you know, tight radius. Like right now we're using some of these port fittings. If you look here, is that
well, right here is a port fitting.
Yeah, it goes straight in.
So it's free swiveling and eliminates the adapter right there. So the O-ring will seal right there, and that gets nice and tight.
So you can imagine.
So without that, it'd be sitting, you know, twice as low. Yeah.
The drain would be basically level then. So that way you get the drain up higher. You know, it's stuff like that is what really makes it to where you can make your setup work a lot more efficiently, and to where
So
You
we
know,
don't have to worry about a scavenge pump now.
Yeah, don't have to worry about a scavenge pump. You know, one more less failure point. You don't have to worry about turning it on. It's easier on a 16-volt battery. You don't have, you know, the less things you can run because, you know, smart coils aren't too bad. The MSD 600s, I mean, if you noticed it when we were racing in Florida, you're like, man, this thing is eating the battery up.
Yeah,
so,
it literally, yeah, you crank it, you make a pass, you need to put it on charge.
Yep. So, you know, if you can reduce that, that's better. So far, the bad apple, can't wait to get it out.
Tomorrow?
Gonna try to have it done tomorrow. You know, we got some stuff. We're gonna crank it, change some stuff, and everything else.
New Hughes torque converter in there.
Yeah,
Very excited.
Yep, new Hughes torque converter. We got all our transmission data. If you guys remember, we had some torque converter issues, a lot of charge pressure. If you look here in the clear view, got some stuff.
Some possible thrust in there.
Yeah, it does have a little bit more thrust clearance.
So we'll get it all cleaned up, make it right, make it happen.
Check it out. But yeah, so we'll do that. If not, you know, we're gonna try, but we are gonna be out there
With the black sheep.
with the black sheep. Where are we going? 2 for 2?
I'd like to go 2 for 2.
2 for 2, and then 3 for the hat
Well,
trick.
yeah, they got a we got a grudge race, so I feel good
Oh.
about that.
Who are we racing?
One of the guys in a rotary from up in New York.
Oh,
Yeah, so you know what I do to any vehicle that doesn't have 8 cylinders.
give him the break.
Give him the break.
All right, one thing that we didn't really hit on is the shit's badass.
The weight.
The weight.
It weighs nothing.
It weighs a lot less. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna say close to half. And that, you know, you think about your lines when you're building a car. You guys that are really going after it, you start spending thousands of dollars in carbon fiber, titanium. You know, I like to do a cost versus a weight breakdown. You know, when you start getting to like $100 a pound, it's not really worth it. Doing the lines, you already got to do the lines, so there's a lot of benefits, and weight is one of them. So if you're trying to build like some super light grudge car.
What are these? These are dash 12.
Yep, both these are dash 12.
Very similar in size. That one's got a little bit different fitting on the end,
so
right?
we got a dash 12. We obviously changed the setup a little bit because we have a little more flexible hose.
Wow.
This is obviously not as flexible. These are reusable fittings with a rubber inner core, and now we're on the crimp style PTFE. So we have a little more weight here on fittings because we have more angle, but this is going to be what the rubber hose shows for 0.70 of a pound, and then here is the new style hose, 0.45.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Okay, nearly half.
Yeah.
That's like you almost saw the weight before.
It's magic. No, I knew they're substantially lighter.
When you pick it up,
You
you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
it's unbelievably light. Like it just-
flexibility. So you could take this hose, and I mean, you can almost go 360 before it crimps. This one, right there, like your flow is cut in half. Like
Yeah.
this one, you can sit here and you can bend that. It's not gonna cut your flow in half.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we strive on trying to, you know, make all your angles do the work. You know, the angles are made to flow.
Yep.
So we're, instead of, you know, taking a hose and doing a big sweep, we try to make the actual fitting take the work, and then the hose get you point A to B as short as possible.
yeah. That's
I would bet, if I was a betting man, that these fittings flow substantially more than these fittings or any of the ones you get. Just because the inner diameter of it and the way as everything's set up, I can look at it and tell, you know, the inner diameter is a lot more tubular.
And these are all mandrel bent, so they're nice,
Yep.
nice and round. Where you get a lot of flattening on stuff they draw without a mandrel.
when you pick them up and hold them side by side, there's really like no comparison. They're two different completely levels
yeah.
of quality.
Correct. These are also all billet fittings. You know, that style, you can see that there's braze joints right there. There's another failure point, and vibration eventually will crack. And
Yeah, I've had
these
them
are
break
all
there.
billet. You know, this
whole
is
thing,
one
yeah.
piece, and it's a pin-on nut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious. So I guess up next we got them all laid out.
Yeah,
we
we're
know
gonna
this
go-
one weighs a little bit less, so now we crimp it, and then
Correct.
that's it.
Yep,
Well,
we're gonna go
crimp
we're
and
gonna-
pressure test, right?
Yep, we're gonna go take it to the crimp machine, make sure that we have it nice in spec, make sure it matches all of our specs for each hose that we have all the numbers for, and then we're gonna go to pressure test. We put water through here, and then we will pressure test every hose that leaves here.
Wow. All right.
Do it.
All right. So we got all of our lines and fittings over here, ready to be crimped. And is this the crimper here?
Yep, this is our FinPower crimp machine, and all of these hoses have a certain spec that they have to be crimped in. We have all these numbers right here. We're gonna be doing dash 12 air mid is what we chose for this product here. So we have the machine all set up, and then I'm gonna, obviously we got orientation here that we're gonna watch. Make sure that our hose is all installed properly, fittings are pushed in all the way. Make sure our crimp collars are pulled all the way up, and then we'll go ahead and crimp it to our specs. This has a foot pedal, so I can just stand there and
Now, how much force is that? You should not put your fingers in there, correct?
Pounds, correct. It will definitely take your finger off.
Wow,
Done.
that's it.
That quick, I'm gonna check our specs, make sure we're in our specs, which we are, and then we just continue on from here.
Wow, that is extremely fast.
Now you have a complete hose, ready to go.
That's wild. That is wild. How many days are we since our last incident? I don't think we could have one of these at the shop.
2 days, 3 days. Well, you know what they say, like.
Yeah, we know what they. Yeah, we know what they say.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Wow.
Way faster than the reusable world.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've literally spent hours putting one fitting together.
Like I said, now this hose is good for, especially if you take care of it, it'll last you 10, 20 years.
That is crazy.
So we're gonna take these couple right here and go pressure test them.
God, he just did 3 that quick.
Oh, man.
That quick.
They do all kinds of stuff. I always like coming in here because you see like some of these parts, like they made all this stuff. I mean, this I would assume for maybe like a oil scavenge or something. Yep. I mean, come on, that's above our pay grade. Seems like a NASCAR style, yeah. So
now we're just screwing the test adapters in. That's how we pressure test all these hoses. Grab a wrench and we tighten them down. This will seat the pin wire in the nut here, so all the nuts will, spin nice and freely when we're done here.
I'd like to also say the shop here is extremely clean, well organized. Yeah, it's
that's what else nasty needs to be.
yeah.
The amount of product that we have to get through here in a day is pretty amazing.
Yeah, every time I've ever been here, it's always just been like they've just been hammering stuff out.
Yeah, no, very, very efficient.
How many guys do you guys employ?
We have the hose side. We also have a CNC tube bender in the back. We do 3/62-inch tubes, and then we also have an electrical division, so we can do any of the mil-spec wire and 2-inch connectors, all that. We have about 30, 35 employees here.
Yep. Brown Miller Racing Solutions wired, so BMRS wired.
Yep.
They sell stuff like I've ordered a bunch of stuff from them. I saw over there. I think they had a like a Formula S AE car, so they were doing stuff over here. Oh yeah.
So now we're just getting water through there, make sure we get all the air out. Air is not very compressible, so we're gonna get all that, make sure there are no issues.
You guys at home, if you're making lines, wash them out good, because I see a lot of guys, they put them together and then just toss them on the car, and that is very easy.
Now we'll just pressure test it up to about these hoses right here. We'll test to 525 psi.
525
Yep.
psi.
So equalize a little bit.
Holy
But
smokes.
if there was an issue here, this gauge would drop instantly. It would not hold any pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's like way over what it's going to see in its line of duty.
Yeah, we usually have a 3x safety factor in all of our product.
Wow.
So as of right now, the hoses are holding steady. We don't have anything to worry about. Just checking the crimp areas, make sure we don't have any issues in the sealing surfaces.
And this is every hose
every
you
single
guys
hose
put together.
that goes through here. Yep.
Wow.
Everything from a tube to a hose, we test every part of them.
That is insane.
Do all kinds of stuff. They have fittings on the end for a Wiggins style. So if you guys are doing like a Wiggins outlet on an oil outlet or something, they have everything straight there. So
So these ones are all ready to go, and we'll just break them down, clean them out, dry them out, and then they'll go right on the car.
Awesome. Yeah, literally the one-stop shop. That is pretty crazy.
yeah.
That is insane.
It's little things that go into a race car that a lot of people don't know about. Like, it was a long time. I went to the track and I was like, man, that's some nice hose, but you never know, like, where do I get it? How do I do it? Can anybody come here? And you guys, you don't have to have like a race shop, like if you're just building something at your home and you want some of these hoses, you can do it. So don't feel like, hey, you gotta be some badass drag racer to get these. Anybody can literally call them up and say, hey, I need some hose, or you know, if they want to get their car plumbed, they can come by. If you're local in the area, they have, like you said, a mobile.
All this stuff is a key to being successful, because we've had line failures and stuff like that, that you go up in the finals and you got a leaky hose and they don't let you make the pass. Like this stuff right here,
or the car catches on fire because the feed line, you know, it's one of those things, like every car you got to plumb it. You know, it costs a little bit more, but it's really worth it. And honestly, if you guys are all about the bling, this stuff will turn a car around. Like you can take a car that just kind of mediocre, just like the Apple. The Apple looked good, but now, I mean, it just really makes a huge difference in the way the car looks.
Yep.
I mean, we deal with customers every day. You know, people have their product. If it's already mocked up, you know, you can just lay it out straight, give us a tape measure, you know, from overall length, tell us what angles are on it, and we can duplicate that over the phone. That's not a problem. We also will send product. So if you are mocking up a car, you know, and we can put a list together and we can send you the actual fittings and hose, and you can mock it up on your car and ship it back to us, and we'll duplicate it for you.
So you guys can do it without even leaving the house.
Correct. I mean, we don't even charge assembly fees or anything like this. All we do is strictly charge for product.
Yep.
So we can get it to your house, you mock it up and make it perfect for your race car, send it back, and we'll duplicate it and get it out.
And I'll put all the contact info to get it with you guys down in the description below. So if you guys are at home building a race car, you got a project coming along, or you already got all the stuff and you just want to upgrade to this stuff, you can go down there. We'll make it the first link in the description. Check them out, give them a call, get some anything you need, really. Like you said, I want to come over here and get a lot of the hardline stuff. That's what I think looks really cool.
Definitely cleans it up.
Yeah.
Correct. That would be.
Yeah, we're gonna bring this one here. We had a lot of the lines already on it, but when we do, I think we got like 2 or 3 other builds. Before we even start messing with the plumbing, we'll run it up here. It's way more efficient. So
yeah, if we have somebody already has a tube mocked up, you know, you can just send it to us. We can scan it and duplicate it for you. It's not a problem.
They can take like a welding wire coat hanger or something.
Yeah,
and straighten
welding
it out.
wide or anything, mock it up, give us a shape. We'll scan it and then duplicate it to that.
I'd like to say from this point on, I'm never putting an AN fitting together ever again.
Not worth
I'm done not doing it. So
not worth the time.
Awesome. All right. Well, there it is. You guys saw it from really start to finish here. Now we have all the fittings and everything, all the lines made, so we can go racing this weekend. So big shout out to everyone over here at Brown Miller. Thank you for all your help.
Yep.
And I guess we're out of here. That's it.
That's it. Let's go pick up the knot trailer.
He gets the buy this round. Don Doc got the buy this round. The black sheep on the property. He got the buy for the next round.